Hello and welcome to ITC Techshare. I'm Tom Grissom. Today I would like to get started with creating your very first OneNote notebook using OneNote Online. So to use the OneNote Online program, you'll need a internet device with a modern browser. So here I'm using Windows 10 with the Chrome browser. Navigate to the EIU.edu homepage and click on the Panther Mail link. That will allow you to log in. So I've got a demo account today, so I'm going to log in with my demo account and type in my password here and sign in. This will sign me into my Office 365 account. So this familiar grid of icons, you have the mail icon and OneDrive and OneNote and some of the others that we went over. I always like to start my OneNote notebooks. I like to store them in OneDrive. So I usually start by going to OneDrive, and think of OneDrive as that hard drive or USB flash drive that's storage space on the internet, or quote unquote in the cloud. Now, I like to tell my OneNote notebooks where I want them to live. I do things by academic year. It just helps me organize things. So since this is a new academic year, I'm going to click on AY 1617, and you'll see that I've already created my first subfolder in this AY 1617 folder, and it's called OneNote Notebooks. So if I click on that, you can kind of see the breadcrumbs. So this is telling me exactly where I'm going to be creating this first OneNote notebook. So I'm in my OneNote Notebooks shelf or file cabinet, if you like. I'm going to create new, so I'm going to click the little plus symbol here. What do I want to create? We're going to do our first OneNote notebook. And for today's demo, let's say that we're teaching an Earth Science class this summer. Chose Earth Science because most adults are very familiar with the terms. So let's give it a name. We'll call it Earth Science 101, and then I also like to put the semester. It just helps me organize things. And summer 2016, double check, make sure everything's spelled correctly, because this is your first chance to make sure everything's right. So I'm going to click on create. It will go out there and create the basic structure, and here we are. We're in OneNote Online. Congratulations, you've created your first OneNote notebook. It's that easy. So if you look across the top, we're just in a browser here. So the name of this is Earth Science 101-Summer 2016. That's the name we just gave it. And just a couple of things on navigation. Most importantly, whenever you're using a browser with OneNote Online, the most important icon is this little three-line icon here that we call the hamburger icon. Many people refer to it as that. Remember, we had the waffle, so everything's kind of food related here, I guess. But if I click on that symbol, the hamburger symbol, it's like a hamburger and a bun on top and a bun on bottom, that expands the interface. Now, OneNote is equivalent to that three-ring binder, so we're going to essentially be creating a digital three-ring binder with sections and pages, just like the real physical, real-world equivalent to it. So the first column, you can see that this first column are my sections, and the second column are my pages. So this is how we're going to navigate around the notebook. So it's just sitting here. It gives me a date and timestamp, which is also very handy. It's waiting for me to give it the first name. So this is a page. So I'm going to say welcome to Earth Science. Earth Science 101. So I just named my first page. So this is kind of the title of the page. Now let's click on the little hamburger icon again, and you can see right here the name of my page. Now it says Untitled section over here because when we first created this notebook it didn't know what to call it. But you can right click on that and choose the Rename tab, and let's call this Introduction. Typically we're going to have an introduction section. And let me capitalize my I and say OK. So now then, we've just created our first section and our first page in OneNote Online. Now, to make things easier, whenever I work with teachers, I highly suggest that they go out in a Word document or something and make an outline. So here's an outline of kind of what I thought we would go through this screencast today. So here you can see I have my introduction. So I bolded this, so this is going to be a section. My next section is going to be called Earthquakes, so I've bolded that. You can kind of think of these sections as like chapters in a book. So I'm just going to copy and paste to make things go a little quicker here. The next thing that I've got in red, what is Earth Science? That's going to be another page underneath my OneNote notebook. So let's go back to OneNote Online and let's make a new page, and again it says untitled here. I'm going to go out here and paste in what is earth science and give it the title page. And now then you can see that I very quickly went out there, copy and pasted, so I've got some internet resources. The nice thing about OneNote is if you use Word, if these links are active in Word, whenever you copy and paste, they're active in OneNote. So let's say I'm a student viewing this notebook, I just click on that, it opens up a new tab and takes me to this NASA resource here about the Earth. Okay, I don't need that, so I'm going to close out that tab. Let's go back to the hamburger icon. So I've got what is earth science. Now let's make a new section. Let's click on the add section button. The next section I want to talk about are going to be earthquakes. So I'm going to say earthquakes. Gives me my section name here. And if I go back to my little Word document, you can kind of see that I'm going to want to have a page for the definition. I'm going to want a page for what causes earthquakes. And then I'm going to want an example here of a YouTube video that we can actually insert, and I need a page for faults and so on. So let me come up here and let's just copy the definition. Let's take care of some vocabulary right away. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to rename this page definition and then copy and paste. So right there it is. And then again, one of the nice things about OneNote, you can do multimedia type resources, so you can clip URLs and web pages. So if I click on this, this will actually take me out to the United States Geological Survey, and here is the source for the definition of an earthquake. Let's see, what else do I need? I'm going to go down. What causes earthquakes? So that's going to be my next page here. So if I go back to my page, insert a new page with clicking on the plus, and I'm going to paste in what causes earthquakes, and let me see if I can copy and paste the title there. And let me go back to my hamburger menu. The next page is going to be, looks like my YouTube video here. So let's go back here and let's add, let's call this Japan earthquake YouTube video, and then I can actually come out here and copy and paste that link out there as well. So you can see very quickly that I'm navigating through. Now just a couple of other tips. If I go back to my introduction, you can see these are the same colors. You can actually, on the section name, right click and you can change your section color. I don't like having that color, so let's make this section blue. So again, you can kind of color code your tabs, which is another very nice feature. Let's go back to the Word document, kind of my outline, and just follow along here. We need to have a section on faults. So let me come back here, just going to copy and paste, make a new page. We're going to call this faults, and click down here. And I'm doing Control V because right click and paste doesn't work in the browser version. So again, here is the definition. If I click on the link, it takes me to the actual internet resource. So I'm citing my work there as I go along. And then let's do a new page. And I think the next section is types of faults. So I'm just kind of going through here. I've got my section. I'm making my pages as I go around. And let me go back over here. So we've got... let me just copy this section here, go back in, Control V to paste it in. So we've got three basic types of faults. I can come up here. If I highlight something, you'll notice that I can change my colors and things. So if I highlight these three items, I can actually come over here and make these bullet points, or do point 1, 2, and 3. So there's my three different types of faults. And once again, I've got an internet link here. It's live, it's active. So if I click on that link, it will open up a new tab and will take me to in this case, this is a little color page for coloring page for children. But another trick is one of my favorite tricks is to use the snipping tool. So I can come out here. If I don't want to direct the students there, I can keep everything within the OneNote notebook, and I'm going to copy this and go back into my OneNote notebook, and then I'm going to click my cursor down here below a little bit, press enter a couple of times, and if I do a Control V, I can actually copy that little screen snip, and it will paste it actually straight into OneNote. So this is very handy. Now this is just an image, so I can click and I can resize that image. So this very clearly illustrates the three different types of faults. So we're getting a little bit long here on this screencast, so I'm going to stop here. But if you click on the hamburger menu, what we've done today, we've created our first notebook. We've given it the title and Earth Science 101 Summer 2016. We've created a section called Introduction that has 2 pages. Here's what is Earth Science. There's our link out there to internet resources. We've created another section. We changed the color to blue, and we've got a page for definition, what causes earthquakes, a Japan earthquake example, a page for faults, and a page for types of faults. Now we could go on. I'm not going to take the time here for this screencast, but we could actually go down through here and do the fault animation, make a new section for types of rocks, do igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic, and so on. And very quickly you can see how easy taking an outline from Microsoft Word or whatever you have, even better yet if you already have a physical 3-ring binder, it makes it so easy to convert that into a digital resource. Lastly, whenever you finish, you can come up here, click on the waffle icon, and then go to your other application that you might want to access. So for now, I'm going to leave it here. So until next time, this is Tom Grissom. Keep on learning.